grilled chicken and veggie wrap. In this bowl, I've added some balsamic vinegar, some olive oil, a little honey, some Dijon, a little dried basil, and now I'm adding some salt and pepper. And I have 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I'm gonna marinate. Whisk it up. I'm gonna add my chicken. All right, so I'm just gonna let my chicken sit in the marinade for about 30 minutes, room temp. And while it's marinating, I'm gonna cut up some veggies, grill it up, and then assemble my wrap. So I'm gonna let this chill out on my back counter while I grab my veggies. Red pepper, yellow pepper, red onion, and Chinese eggplant. A Chinese eggplant has less seeds than your traditional eggplant, so it's a little less bitter. I'm gonna slice my red onion, my yellow pepper, and my red pepper. I'm just gonna salt my veggies. I'm gonna add some cracked black pepper. While that sits there, I'm gonna make my goat cheese spread. It's like a whipped herby spread with goat cheese. Has a little tang. So I'm gonna mince 1 clove of garlic in my food processor. Okay. Now I'm going to add my goat cheese. Some chives, I'm gonna add a mild oniony flavor. Some parsley. Just gonna add some more herbiness to this goat cheese spread. A little salt. Gonna add some lemon juice, about half of this lemon. And a little olive oil to help loosen it up. I'm gonna let the food processor do the rest. All right, let me make sure it's good. Creamy, a little tangy, and full of fresh herbs. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, it's time to grill my veggies. First, I'm gonna hit the grill that is very hot with some oil. I'm gonna put my eggplant down first. I'm gonna put a little bit of my peppers and onions back here. So it's gonna be about 3 to 4 minutes on both sides for the eggplants. For the onions and peppers, I want them to be super soft and charred. This is exactly how I want the eggplant to look. It's softened up and it has those beautiful char marks on it. Take these off. And then once this is done, I'm gonna add my chicken and cook it right here on the same grill. Peppers and onions are done. Now I'm gonna add my marinated chicken. Oh yeah. I'm gonna grill this for about 3 to 4 minutes. It depends on how thick your chicken breast is, but 3 to 4 minutes on each side or until the internal temperature reaches 165. That's the safe zone for chicken. All right, my grilled chicken is done. So I have my spinach wraps. So I have 2 wraps here. Take that herby goat cheese spread. I'm gonna slice my chicken now. I'm gonna add some of my eggplant, add my grilled peppers and onions, fold the sides, tuck it in, and slice. That's a juicy wrap.
I am hungry, so I'm gonna make myself a panini. I love panini, and this is definitely one of my favorite ones. Now I'm gonna make the sauce for the panini, and that starts with a little bit of mayo and an equal amount of apricot jam. This is such an unusual combination, but it's so delicious. A little bit sweet, nice and creamy. I'll just stir this around. I knew I wouldn't want to stop my cooking day and have a big elaborate lunch, but a panini is always a quick and easy idea. All right, that's all mixed together. Now for the panini, I'm using sourdough bread, which is one of my favorites. It just toasts up really nice and crisp. And I'll put a big spoonful of the spread on each half. With panini, whenever you put a spread on the bread, just think of it as sauce. It gets really warm and drippy, and I'm getting even more hungry talking about it. Okay, I got it spread all over the bread. Now I'll grab one of these delicious chicken breasts. Doesn't need to be cool at all. Now I'll slice the chicken breast, and then it'll cover all of this bread. I'm just gonna cut it on a diagonal. Oh, it just looks delicious. It smells so good. I just love a good grilled chicken breast. So delicious. Okay, now for the panini, it's gotta have cheese, so I'll lay on a slice of provolone, and then I'll just lay the chicken right on top. I want the chicken to totally cover the surface of the cheese. Okay, one of my favorite ingredients for this sandwich is fresh sage. It just adds this amazing flavor, and I just pull the leaves right off the sprig. Of course, fresh sage is a little on the strong side, so you don't need to use too much. Now, for even more amazing flavor, I've got some really thinly sliced red onion, and I'll just lay it right on top of the chicken. Now, the second piece of cheese, perfect, and then I'll put the lid on top. Now, with panini, you really want that bread to get nice and golden and crisp, so I'll spread some butter right on top. That is totally spread with butter, just the way I want it. Now I've got the panini maker all nice and hot, so I'll put it butter side down. Oh, I love that sizzle. Now I need to get butter on the other side, so I'll go ahead and do that. This is my last chance. All right, the panini maker goes down, and then I'll let it do all the work. The panini is sizzling away. It looks so delicious, just perfect, really golden. The bread looks nice and crusty. Now, besides eating it, my favorite part is always slicing the panini open so you can see all that beauty inside. The cheese, the chicken, the sage. It looks perfect.
Very Peri chicken, inspired by Peri chicken. Ooh. Now, it's a dish that has roots in South Africa, Portugal, and the first thing we need to do is make the sauce. So the very Peri sauce is like a peri sauce. We're using African bird chilies. You can use Thai bird chilies. We're also using some red jalapeno, yellow bell or orange bell pepper, red bell pepper, some tomatoes, and some red onions. Now, here's the deal, and some garlic. No oil. All right, it's just like a dry char, like I did the green beans that one time. I really like doing a dry char because it gets all the flavor. Plus, when you do an oil on a sauce, it doesn't stay outside the fridge or in the fridge well. When you put it in the fridge, it coagulates all the fat and everything. So don't put the oil in the sauce, and you're sure to have something that you can blitz up and use everywhere. So I'm just getting everything in, stems included, all right, because they'll all blitz down, no big deal. All right, so I got those off. I'm just gonna get these on. It's a lot faster with my hands. And then just skin side down. And this is over direct heat, so we're going for char. So this is like really, really quick. Get these on here.
I love your implementation of the upside down cooling rack, essentially, directly on the grill.
If you
those
can
little
see
bits.
it.
Doesn't fall through.
Right here, this is just a cooling rack. You put it upside down so you have a little bit of something to hang on to.
You could put cast iron too, right? And just sear it in cast iron.
You
like
totally could. And you know, I've adapted this from inside in the oven, so if you're staycationing and you don't want to get outside, you can also roast this in the oven at like 425.
That's deep staycation when you don't even leave your home.
Deep, deep, deep. All right, so everything is on. It's gonna get nice and charred, just like this. I'm gonna show you how you finish this off. So after everything is charred and in your pot, you wanna add to it some liquid. So we've got some apple cider vinegar.
Must.
Gotta have it. So good in that marinade, too, really. Makes it zing.
This is called, another name for this is Portuguese chicken.
Yeah, I mean, it has its roots in Portugal. And when I went to South Africa, I had it at a chain there, and they served it with pop. Pop is like stiff grits. It's the best way to describe it. It's just stiff grits. And they use it to kind of like eat up all of the sauces and all the really spicy things because you know it takes down the spice. So already in my pot were the tomatoes that I charred, added the onions, the bell pepper, garlic went in, apple cider vinegar. Don't forget those peppers, the red bell pepper and everything. Now what you're gonna do is just add the liquid to the level and no further.
Wow, and that was brown sugar you just put in.
Yep, a little bit of brown sugar went in just for a little bit of sweetness. Yeah.
Be great on anything.
So simple. You can also do this on like fish, exactly. Brush it on vegetables.
Branzino.
So Jeezy, I'm gonna bring this to you here.
What would you like me to do?
This isn't done right now. Just blitz it in parts because it's a little bit warm and then sieve it out.
Okay, see,
Yeah,
just
you
like
got that?
That looks great, you see that?
So simple to do.
Simple.
So what you want to do is, before you get to the blitzing station, make sure that you cook it down a little bit. The water's going to evaporate by about half, and the water becomes like a dark color as well, so you know it's got that flavor of everything that roasted. While Jeezy's blitzing, I'm going to show you what it comes out like right this.
We're gonna use about half of it. Now, the chicken that I'm using today is bone in, skin off, thighs, legs, and a couple of chicken breasts that I cut in half. For
Okay.
the people that want the white meat, but this is all about the dark meat. You know what I mean?
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But you're staycationing, you gotta take care of whoever is at home with you. So.
Is the skinless chicken traditional to the Peri Peri?
I've always had it skinless, but I'm sure someone out there is like, oh, we gotta have it skin on, you know what I mean?
You want some salt and pepper in this?
Yeah, you can add a little bit of salt and pepper in there to season it up. So you're just gonna do this, mix it around in a sealable bag, put this room temperature, 1 to 2 hours, no longer than that. We've got in a cooler back here, really because outdoors is not room temp. I'm gonna bring it forward, and the next step is to dry everything off. Because we wanna get it onto the grill, but we don't want to start getting all of those sugars caramelized right from the beginning.
I got a fun fact for you guys. You know that peppers get spicier in the summer?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah?
The heat and the sun and the dry heat actually makes the peppers produce more capsaicin. So, so things start activating, obviously, in the sun and the heat. But we got a couple different peppers right here. Sonny, I believe you're using the one kind of lower on the scale here, but still pretty spicy
Red jalapenos, yeah.
And then you're using the bird's eye chilies, too, or the Apricot
Yes.
chilies. So those are the hottest of the group here. So from jalapenos, you go to serrano, which are these long little kind of dark green chilies used in a lot of Mexican cooking. And then, of course, the habanero. Very popular.
Yeah.
Very famous.
Hot and spicy.
Very, very spicy.
Which
but
actually
great
has a flavor profile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think this has got like the fruitiest flavor out of all of them. And then these little guys, don't think just because they're little, they're not packing a punch. These pack quite a punch. So if you want to experiment with all these in your marinades, in your Peri Peri sauce, start low, taste as you go, taste that marinade, especially before you add your chicken to it. So taste as you go. Make sure it's up to your spice preference.
All right, I'm just getting the chicken over direct heat. I'm gonna char it first, but I like to go slick side down. So slick side down, we're gonna start over the char, and then we're gonna flip it over to indirect heat when we get that chance. All right, so I have some started already over here. And they've been going for a minute.
Spin the globe on that one.
So these started off on the direct heat, moved them over to indirect heat to kind of finish the inside cooking. The last 5 to 10 minutes or so, that's when you're gonna hit them with the brush and get them a nice lather of that sauce that we made beforehand. If you're gonna eat with your hands, you should be licking your fingers, so make it nice and sticky. Get this over here. Ready to go for
At first, I was like, oh, why isn't you just leaving the skin on? But now I see it's all evenly caramelized. And then not just the skin that's caramelized, but the meat itself.
Yeah, you want it nice and sweet, charred. You don't want any, gummy skin. You want it to really kind of, be nice and crisp also. And there's a chance to make it crisp.
And this is the pop you're talking about?
Yeah, so this is just my kind of version of it, actually. But yeah, so you get the polenta in a tube, just slice it, olive oil, salt, and pepper, get it on the grill, flip it so you can get those grill marks.
Yeah.
There you go. And it's kind of like pop, my very, very spicy chicken. Yes, please.
I was gonna say I want a thigh, but it's all thigh, all the time.
Get a little piece of polenta. If it's too spicy, it'll kind of take that spice down.
Get it right in here.
You want some, Jeff?
I'll have some after he's done. He's eating on that.
Yeah? Yeah?
So rich, so deep. That's such a simple little twist with the peppers.
Thank you.
But it's robust. Every single pepper you taste, it's just spicy enough, just to the edge.
Lettuce wraps filled with succulent grilled chicken. So I'm gonna get a quick marinade on the chicken. I've got some really thin chicken breasts, and I'm adding some olive oil, minced garlic, lemon zest, and crushed red pepper, salt and pepper, and the rosemary I just chopped really fine. There's kind of a little energy in the air today because my mom is coming and we all love G so much. My mom's name is Jerry. The kids have always called her G, and she's just kind of walking, talking, breathing sunshine everywhere she goes. Wouldn't you say?
I agree.
I didn't necessarily think that when I was a teenager and she was giving me rules. I didn't like those teenager rules at all. But I've come to appreciate her now that I have teenagers, and it's all about rules in our house. Boy, I am really diving into the history of my adolescence. So if you have time, come and look at this, Alex. If you have time, you can get this marinade going and give the chicken a good hour or so, but we don't have time for that because G is on her way. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get these on the grill. They've already got plenty of oil on them, so get them on one by one. G lives about an hour and 15 minutes away, so hopefully the timing works out. All right, I'm gonna babysit these chicken breasts, cook them for about 4 to 5 minutes per side, and then we'll keep moving forward with the mom lunch. The chicken is beautifully grilled, and I'm gonna just remove it to the board and let it cool while I make some other ingredients. Nothing like grilled chicken for a mom lunch. So I have a question. When are you guys gonna make me lunch? Huh?
You don't give us a chance.
Well,
You're always the one cooking.
fair point. For the lettuce wraps, I'm gonna make a really simple kind of bruschetta topping. And I've got some diced tomatoes, some finely diced onion. This is basically the tomato topping that you would put on top of grilled bread. Which, do you like bruschetta?
Oh, yeah.
Or bruschetta?
I love
It's
bruschetta.
one of my favorite things on earth. Chopped artichoke hearts from the jar or the can, either one. Lemon juice, olive oil.
This is right up G's alley. It's also fresh.
This is up G's alley. That is so true. Anytime G comes over, I just think, my mom's coming over. I'm so excited. Mommy. I want my mom. Okay, added some salt and pepper and a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. I just kind of leave these out on my stove. They never go into the drawer. And I'll give this a stir. Yum, yum.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, it's very simple, and you can add some fresh basil if you want, or just kind of, I like leaving it plain and holy. So I'll put this into a little dish. Things I love about my mom. She's nice to everyone. She's always got a smile on her face. Unless you get on her bad side. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think she has a bad side.
I don't think so either. She speaks in sort of a sing-song voice.
She does.
It's like, hi, Riri. It's kind of, intonation. She's always optimistic. She's a fun person to be around, unless you're a teenager. Okay, so I'm gonna move this board over here. So I'm actually gonna present the lettuce wraps on a board so everybody can dive in and make their own. So I'm gonna put the tomato and artichoke mixture on the board, and I'll show you what else is on there here in a second. And I've got a big old knife, and I'm gonna chop or dice the chicken. You can slice it really thin, but I kind of wanna get it into little bitty, kind of bite-sized bits. So give me a minute or two. I'm gonna chop up this chicken. Okay, so look at this board. I chopped the chicken and I put it on the board. I've got some Bib lettuce leaves, some Parmesan, a little dish of pesto, the tomato artichoke bruschetta topping, and basil leaves. So isn't this a beautiful presentation?
So beautiful.
Lovely. I've also got some balsamic glaze. So I'm gonna save this for G's arrival because I don't want to mess everything up, but just for you viewers at home, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to serve. You can figure it out, it's very easy, but a little bit of chicken, little bit of pesto on top of the chicken.
Yum.
Need another spoon here. Little bit of the bruschetta topping, and a little bit is a relative term. Little parm, some balsamic glaze. Oh, beautiful. And then, why not, a whole basil leaf.
Wow.
Oops. This is a great little spin on lettuce wraps. My mom loves flavors like this. She is going to absolutely love it. Unfortunately, this one is not gonna last until she gets here. Might as well go ahead and eat it.
We're not frying chicken today, but I'm gonna try to emulate those exact flavors, but on the grill. When I make fried chicken, one of the first things I do is I make a brine out of buttermilk. Now, the buttermilk is in there to create tenderness and moisture in the chicken itself. I'm gonna put in a couple different chili powders. We have some ancho chilies, fruity with a little bit of heat. New Mexico chili, it's a little bit brighter and it has a little more heat to it. And then some chili de arbol powder. I like to say it's cayenne with flavor, so it's definitely gonna have some heat to it. And then some cascabel chili. It almost tastes like if tea was spicy. It has sort of an herbal flavor to it, but with some heat. And then we have some other spices in here as well. We have some smoked paprika, some ground coriander, granulated garlic and onion powder, and then we have a little bit of cinnamon. Lots of layers of flavor in there. Smokiness, fruitiness. We have some sweet spices like the cinnamon. All right, so we're gonna pour some of the marinade over the chicken. I cut the chicken into pieces. So that's the white meat, and then we have the dark meat, the thighs, which is my favorite, by the way. They always are the moistest part of the chicken. Just love the chicken thighs. We're gonna let this sit for at least 4 hours or overnight. It's totally fine. Let me show you what I've done here. I've patted it dry, and then what I do is I sort of air dry it. I take the cover off and leave it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes so that the marinade actually becomes part of the skin. It actually dries right onto the skin. And now we can grill. And while that's happening, I can actually start my, my sauce or my glaze. It's gonna be mangoes and honey. I'm gonna take the skin off the mango first. So I'm just gonna dice up my mangoes. They don't have to be perfectly diced because I'm gonna cook them and then I'm gonna puree them anyway. So let's make this mango glaze. A little bit of canola oil, some onion, a little bit of garlic. Okay, then we're gonna take our mangoes and some orange juice and some pineapple juice. The pineapple juice has a nice flavor to it, but you know what? If you don't have pineapple juice, orange juice will be just fine. A little ancho chili in there, and a little bit of white wine. We're actually using a Pinot Grigio. Let that cook down, cook out the alcohol, save the flavor of the grape. So you just want to make sure that the mangoes, the onions, and garlic are nice and soft. I'm gonna puree this in a blender. Brush the mango glaze right on the chicken. You want to glaze the chicken just about when it's done because there's honey and there's the natural sugars from the mango in here. Those sugars will actually cook and caramelize very quickly. Just a couple more minutes of cooking, and then it'll be chicken time. So I'm just gonna grab a piece of chicken. I'll start with a drumstick. Tons of flavor here. You can taste the spices, and I just love the mango. I'm a huge mango fan. The mango and the honey glaze just works so well with those big spices. And you can actually taste a little bit of the buttermilk. Gives it that sort of tangy flavor underneath.
Let me tell you about chicken and brining. Got some water here. Gonna add a little bit of sugar. Usually 1 part sugar, 2 parts salt. We're gonna put the juice of 1 lemon. Don't worry about the seeds or anything. Just quarter this baby. All right, I'm gonna add this to the brine. Squeeze and drop, squeeze and drop. It's gonna add a nice lemony flavor to your chicken along with the salt and the sugar. So that's in there, we're ready to go. I've got 4 chicken breasts with skin on because, I mean, there's no bone in. So we wanna keep a little bit of the moisture. What we wanna do is put that in the brine for about an hour, half an hour. Look, the more salt and the more sugar you put in the brine, the less time you have to soak it. I'm gonna get the chicken out that's been brining and get ready for the grill. It's been in there for about an hour. Those are patted dry. Now I'm going to start just building them up. A little butter, salt, pepper, the liquid smoke that's gonna make it taste like you did it outside on the grill for hours. Oh, man. So I'm gonna put this in here. Now remember, the good thing about drying off the chicken is the butter's not gonna slide off when you try and kinda put it in there. Make a little pocket. Don't take the skin completely off, all right? And then what I do is put a little leaf of sage right in there. Yeah. Finished up that last one there on the grill with the rest of them. Just gonna sear it. We're not gonna completely cook it through because that's gonna happen in the oven with the potatoes. If we do everything right, it's gonna finish all at the same time. It's gonna be so, so good. All right, so next, we're gonna work on getting our sauce ready for our white wine mushroom sauce. It's gonna be so unbelievable. All right, so I've got a pan right here on low. I'm gonna throw some butter in. All right, some olive oil. Thing about the butter and the olive oil, they help each other out. The butter's not gonna brown with the olive oil, and the olive oil's not gonna burn with the butter. So they're like great friends in this pan. All right, so add the onions, and I'm gonna get some mushrooms, slice them up, put them in there with the onions and wait for them to tender up. Let me check this chicken really quick. It might be ready for the oven. A few more minutes on this. Just added some cayenne pepper for a little bit of smoky flavor and heat to the onions and the mushrooms that are getting nice and translucent with the butter and the oil. Let me check my chicken here that's grilling. We don't want to completely cook it through. It looks good. So I'm going to put it in the oven with our potatoes. I'm just going to finish up cooking in there. Oh, it looks good. Nice and golden with the grill marks. Got to really invest in one of these pans if you don't have one. Get one with the handles, no big deal. All right, so I'm gonna put this in with the potatoes. It's gonna be in there. Oh, the potatoes smell so good. The garlic. It's gonna be in there about 20 minutes, all right? We're gonna finish off this white wine mushroom sauce with, of course, some white wine, some chicken stock, because the chicken is going on it, or under it. And of course, this is the lettuce for our salad. Oh, don't drop it. All right, good save. We're gonna put some wine in there. Just a little bit. We're gonna reduce it down so we get all the nice fruity flavors of the wine. Really work those bits from the bottom of the pan. It's gonna add a lot of nice flavor and texture to your gravy when you're done. All right, so wine down. We're gonna put some chicken stock in a minute, but we're gonna have to thicken it up at the end, and I wanna show you how to do that. What I like to do is 1 part butter and 1 part flour. It works so easily, so if you ever have lumpy gravy problems, give this a try. I'm feeling like I might wanna put some chicken stock in here. Yeah, the wine is reduced down. It's ready for the chicken stock. A lot of times people want to add some water into the gravy, but I say chicken stock. Adds a lot of body and depth and flavor. Oh, it smells so good. Now remember, that butter and flour, 1 tablespoon of each, so this is gonna thicken up with no lumps.
I was craving a dry, smoked rub type chicken. So I'm gonna make this dry rub. Equal parts smoked paprika, some parsley, and some oregano. Any family member in my family, I always supply them with some house seasoning. Garlic powder, onion powder, sweet paprika, salt and pepper. Add just a little bit more salt. Some brown sugar in there. It's gonna get nice and caramelized on the grill when it smokes. All right, that's done. So I got a 5-pound bird here, a whole roaster. Take that backbone out, and that's gonna help the chicken cook much faster. And I'm gonna cut it in half. All right, there we go.
What you been doing since I've been out there sweating on that grill?
You act like you put something on the grill. It's like all you did was get it started. What?
Still, it's not. So what you doing now?
I'm just rubbing the chicken down with the rub that I made with my house seasoning, the light brown sugar, you know, all that jazz. Getting underneath there, getting in the cavity, you know what I'm saying? You know how we do it, flavor all around. All right, Ma, thank you. Let me put this on here. I'm gonna get it on the grill. I like to keep the grill about 250, 300 when you're doing indirect smoking. Coals on the right side, I'm gonna put the chicken on the left. The smoke inside the grill is cooking the chicken versus directly putting it on top of the coals. It's gonna be infused with that smoky flavor. Let it stay on there for about 45 minutes to an hour. Then I'm gonna take those bad boys over, put on the other side towards the end and get a nice little char and those grill lines on top. I'm excited. My mom loves Alabama white sauce. She puts it on every like barbecue ribs. I mean, it's better for like chicken and pork. So that's about a cup of mayo, some apple cider vinegar because it is a vinegar-based sauce, about 2 tablespoons. Some Dijon mustard goes in there, just a squirt.
Okay.
A little horseradish, a little zest, a little zip, a little dry mustard in there as well. Dry mustard just complements that Dijon that we're already using. A little hot sauce, a little heat, a few dashes, salt, pepper. And I kind of like to go heavy on that pepper. Brown sugar just to kind of mellow everything out because I'm using so much vinegar and hot sauce. The juice of half of a lemon. So it's a little tangy, it's a little sweet.
So you said the vinegar is not gonna be too much?
That's how you like your sauce. Trying to question me.
Oh, excuse me.
Let me taste it. I think I got it now.
That's it?
Perfection.
I'm gonna taste it because I'm the one that likes the sauce.
Let's see.
That's it. I taste the lemon juice. You know, I taste the vinegar.
It's creamy, a little sweet. But see, what that brown sugar does is more so like mellow it out versus it being a really sweet sauce. Okay, let me finish up the chicken, and I know you're gonna clean up because that's what you always do.
That's exactly what I do. I clean as I go. Kardea will tear up a whole kitchen.
Ooh, look at that chicken. It's nice and brown and pretty. Skin side down first. Most of the cooking got done over here with the indirect smoke. What I'm doing right now is just basically getting that char on the skin side. Probably around, I would say like the 12-minute mark, I'm gonna flip it over and let that other side get nice and grilled as well. So my brother thinks he's a grill master. I keep telling him, no matter where I am, whether it's Charleston, at a stove, I am still the grill master. Ain't that right, Ma?
Show you right.
The dogs think so. Chicken has to cook to 165. That's where it's the safe zone. Put it in the thickest part of the chicken, right here in the breast. Yep, actually way up to temp. So let's get it off. Ooh, you see the juices coming out of that? That smells incredible. The spices, that house seasoning, the brown sugar. These are beautiful. Oh, now we're talking. Oh, now we're smoking.
I'm actually gonna do a little French-inspired thing. It's a play on chicken Cordon Bleu, which is usually ham and cheese inside a chicken and then fried. What I'm gonna do is take sort of that inspiration, but I'm gonna grill it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pound this chicken, and I just put a little bit of water on both sides of the chicken so it doesn't stick to the plastic wrap. I'm just gonna carefully pound it out, and this will actually help the chicken cook very evenly. I don't want to pan it too thinly. A lot of times, like a classic chicken paillard is really, really paper thin. I want to have a little bit of texture to my chicken. When I bite into it, I actually want to be able to taste the chicken as well. As you can see, it's going to be nice and even here. All right, so I'm going to put my chicken breast on the grill here. I season this with a little bit of canola oil and salt and pepper, and that's it. Just going to make sure they're nice and even. High heat. We just want to get a nice sort of sear on top of the chicken breast.
Wow, you got that nice and thin.
Oh, yeah. And you can see how quickly the chicken is gonna cook here. It's almost cooked all the way through. I mean, when I turn it over, it's gonna just be a couple more minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it to the indirect part of the grill. Okay, I got a nice crust on the outside there, which is exactly what I want. The other thing I'm gonna do is actually put some lemons on the grill, because I love when you grill citrus. It gives it that sort of nice roasted citrus flavor, and I'm gonna make a vinaigrette out of this.
Oh, that sounds great. You get some of that smokiness and the juice comes out easier, right?
Exactly right. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take just a very thin slice of prosciutto, and actually, you know, they'll slice it very nice and thin for you. I'm just gonna put a layer of prosciutto on top, and then I'm gonna take my triple creme cheese. Now this stuff is really strong, has fantastic flavor.
Is it kind of like a brie?
It's like a brie with a lot more flavor. It actually has the texture of brie. Here, taste a little bit. But it,
wow, yeah, that's got some kick.
It's definitely pungent.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's gonna be great on that chicken, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Ham and cheese on chicken, you know?
It's a classic combo, but you've done it up in a new way.
Exactly. All right, so just gonna put our cheese on top. As you can see, I have it on the indirect heat, okay? I started on the direct heat, got a nice sear. Now I'm gonna let it cook through and let the cheese and the prosciutto melt. Take a look at our lemons. Starting to get nicely grilled. Take a little bit of arugula and just put a little bit of arugula on top. It's kind of like a, you know, a salad on top of your entree. Extra virgin olive oil. And just squeeze some of this roasted lemon on top. Okay, and a little salt and pepper. I'm gonna let Mark give this a try. All right, Mark.
Oh man, Bobby, that looks beautiful.
This is all you. Now, it's a pretty strong flavored cheese. I don't know if that's like to your liking, or would you rather something a little bit more mild?
No, it's perfect, Bobby. It adds some richness and earthiness. And with that little peppery arugula on top, it's beautiful.
Chicken Caesar party sub. I have really thin chicken cutlets in a bowl, and I added some lemon zest, and I'm going in with quite a bit of store-bought pesto and salt and pepper. Simple, simple. All right, this chicken is totally coated. So I'm gonna put it onto a hot grill pan. And I'm gonna go ahead and make the Caesar dressing. So I'm gonna start with some mayonnaise and a squirt of Dijon mustard, and then some minced garlic. I like to add anchovies to my Caesar salad dressing, and then I'll sprinkle in some salt and pepper And a good amount of lemon juice. All right. Ooh, that's a juicy lemon. And then a bunch of grated Parmesan cheese, which gives the Caesar dressing just such amazing texture. All right. Gonna let the food processor do all the work. Ooh, that looks good. Caesar dressing is good to go. So now it's time to turn the chicken cutlets. So these need to go for another 3 to 4 minutes on the second side. And then I'll toast the baguette and show you how to build this sandwich. So I split a baguette in half and I drizzled it generously with olive oil. And now I'm gonna sprinkle it generously with Parmesan. You could also do this to the outside of the bread if you prefer it that way, or you could do it to both the inside and the outside. All right, I'm gonna spread the Parmesan so it's in an even layer. And now this is gonna go under the broiler for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's toasted and golden. Ooh, boy, so much amazing flavor. So I'll get this onto the board. Ooh, hot. And I'm gonna show you how to build this chicken Caesar party sub. First thing I'm gonna do is spread some of the Caesar dressing on this toasted Parmesan bread. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and put the chicken on the bottom baguette half. And I'm not even cutting it up, I'm just laying it edge to edge, and just make sure the chicken is sort of covering all of the surface of the bread. I love the color of roasted bell peppers. Again, just kind of move them around so they're evenly on there. So I'm gonna push the sandwich to the side just for a sec. And I have some really thinly sliced romaine lettuce, which is Caesar salad lettuce. I'm gonna toss it with a bunch of this dressing. Alrighty, now I'm going to carefully pile this dressed lettuce onto the sandwich. Okay, I got that, most of that piled on there. Not too bad. So yes, the top half of the baguette goes on top. And then I'll just give it a little press. Now, if you want to, you can stick some toothpicks strategically here and there just to keep it together. Look at this, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a couple of slices and show you what this looks like. Some of it is falling out onto this board, but that is okay. So I've got a pretty board to serve it on. And I'll put the main sandwich there. And then the two little pieces go on the end, and then everybody can see what it's all about.
There's a point in every summer where I just can't look at one more barbecue chicken. And I thought, I'm gonna test a recipe for flattened chicken, maybe like a Tuscan chicken with lemon and garlic. So I'm gonna take a whole chicken, and in order to flatten it, I'm just gonna take the backbone out. Of course, you can have the butcher do this, but it's really quite simple. Just take your knife and run it right along one side of the backbone, and then right along the other side of the backbone, just take it right out. So, I've got a flat chicken that's gonna grill evenly. Need lots of salt, give it lots of flavor. Both sides. To really bring out the chickenness in it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in a pan that's big enough to hold it. That's perfect. Now I'm gonna need some rosemary for the marinade. At the end of the day, chicken's pretty bland, so I wanna infuse it with as much flavor as I can. So for the Tuscan lemon chicken, I'm gonna start with lots of fresh rosemary, about a tablespoon. And a tablespoon of chopped garlic. Always good on chicken. I need 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. So 2 teaspoons, I need maybe 1½ lemons. Okay, that's about 2 teaspoons. So right into the marinade. And then freshly squeezed lemon juice. What I'm basically making is a lemon vinaigrette with lots of fresh herbs. Just gonna squeeze. I need about 1/3 cup, which is a little more than 1 lemon, maybe 1½. Lots of pepper, 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. Stir it all together. And just pour it right over the chicken. This is why you want a dish that's just the size of the chicken, because you want it to really soak in the marinade. Yeah, okay, that's part one, marinating. Part two, the grill. And this chicken on the grill is gonna be fantastic. First thing I need to do is brush the grill. Really hot coals, but just one layer. I don't want it too hot, otherwise the chicken's gonna burn. So the key to cooking something like this is to make sure it's all about the same thickness, right on the grill. And at this point, most Tuscan chickens have like bricks wrapped in foil, all kinds of complicated things on top. But I just take the dish that it was marinated in, put it right on top, and that makes sure that it's really even. When the chicken goes on, don't pour the marinade over, otherwise you'll find your chicken engulfed in flames. Oh, the oil will start to burn. Not pretty. So I'm just gonna cook it for about 12 to 15 minutes on each side. I actually think this might work out okay. So there are two ways to tell whether it's done. One is the meat thermometer, and one is just to cut between the thigh and the breast and see if the juices run clear. But 150 degrees, perfect. I'm just gonna take it off, put it on the board, cover it with aluminum foil, and let it rest, and it'll continue cooking a little bit. And the last little surprise of this recipe is grilled lemon. I'm just gonna put the lemon on the grill, and it gives a real smoky flavor to the lemon. It's fantastic, better than a sauce. Okay, just gonna cut this in quarters, squeeze it with the lemon juice, and have Tuscan grilled lemon chicken.